Okay, this is my Spider-Man Far From Home review. I'm not going into a whole lot of details as far as what happened in the movie and things like that, but I want to talk about some things that I have had issue with the Tom Holland Spider-Man, things that I like about Tom Holland, and just in general about what they're doing with Spider-Man in the MCU right now. So let's first talk about the suit, because this has been my biggest beef with Spider-Man right now. With a Stark Tech suit, it removes most of the powers that Spider-Man actually has from an actual person, and it puts it into the suit. So basically, anybody that has a Stark Spider-Man suit can be Spider-Man. It basically kind of minimizes Peter Parker's powers through the bite of the spider. The only power that Peter Parker has that cannot be mimicked by Tony Stark is the spider sense, which they did address in this movie, and I was very happy to see that happen because it actually is such a core element to who Spider-Man is, and it is something that cannot be mimicked by a Stark Tech suit. Everything else, climbing walls, shooting web, strength, can be built into a Stark Tech suit, and anybody could be Spider-Man to that degree. So I was very happy to see in Far From Home that they addressed the Peter Tingle, which I thought was kind of funny. So I also, now here's the other thing that is just retarded. When Peter Parker was moving into London, and he's looking through all the different tech suits that Tony Stark built over time, and you just see all these kind of cool suits in there and everything, and he's picking pieces and elements and putting them all together, and he comes out with just a normal suit that does absolutely nothing. So he spent all that time building the perfect, customized, tailored Spider-Man suit for this upcoming fight, and he did some gliding. That was just a scene made specifically to be like, oh, he's the next Tony Stark. I don't know. So I thought that was just completely silly. Although I did like the look of the suit, so that I liked, but the whole build up going up to the fight scene for this suit was just flat. Now, Peter Parker. So Tom Holland is Peter Parker, I think, is a great character. I love Tom Holland's acting. I think he looks the part of Peter Parker very well, much better than Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire, who looked like a really old Peter Parker, who was supposed to be in high school. However, they're not writing Peter Parker the way that I would like to see Peter Parker written. So if we had Tom Holland in Spider-Man 2, that would have been like a great Peter Parker. But today, they're not writing Peter Parker and giving him the growth story that they have traditionally given Peter Parker in the comics and in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. So nothing goes wrong for Peter Parker, and it's for sure in Homecoming, literally nothing went wrong for Peter Parker. He was a pretty lucky guy, nothing, no dramatic story, nothing that he had to persevere through. I mean, there was the one scene where he had the building collapse on it, but that was just kind of silly. But and it also in Homecoming, in Far From Home, we have Peter Parker who is trying to realize that everybody's looking to him or asking him who's going to fill the role of Iron Man moving forward, and he's starting to feel that burden, and it just seems kind of backburnered. His desire to be with MJ and to have, just to go on a field trip is just very insignificant. So there's no real struggle or no real balance between Peter Parker and Spider-Man in this Tom Holland series. So I would love to see, and I feel like, now again, I really like Tom Holland as Peter Parker, but I feel like he's going to look 16 for the rest of his life. So and they're also trying to position him it seems like, to become the next leader of the Avengers or the next Tony Stark, which I just don't know that. First of all, I think Spider-Man's more of a soloist anyhow, so I just don't get where all that's going. So that's where I'm at with Peter Parker. This is a struggle for me because I do like Tom Holland as Peter Parker, but I don't like how they're writing Peter Parker. So that's an issue. Let's see. Okay, so there's that. The end credit scene. This is driving me nuts. First of all, seeing J.J. Jameson at the end was like awesome. I love that. And then they revealed his identity. I'm like, why are you doing this? So they're taking they're it's so frustrating. Why? So they introduce a potential for real struggle between, now all of a sudden he has J.J. Jameson as an adversary, which was, his employer in the comics. So now we have this struggle that's been introduced where now he can have this kind of struggle between being Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and then they just ruin it by giving his identity away too. So I don't know what the logic was there. We'll see. I mean, they could turn it around. I don't know. But that was that was the most emotional part of the movie, where you see J.J. Jameson and you're like, yeah! And then they do the identity thing and you're like, no! So that was frustrating. Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio was awesome. I thought the Mysterio character was really cool. Liked him a lot. I think if there was one thing that bothered me about that, I guess I would have liked to have seen. So Jake Gyllenhaal's like, oh, I don't want to kill Peter Parker, but then he like tortures him. He like plays just toys with him through this whole sequence, and if you don't want to kill somebody, but you're okay with torturing them, I think that's okay, but I think making him a little bit more maybe maniacal or just a little bit more unhinged maybe. But all in all, Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, and just the Mysterio character, was awesome. I always kind of liked Mysterio, and definitely he translates well into the screen. So that was really cool. I really liked that. And Jake Gyllenhaal, when he was on the screen, it was like, just, I don't know, he has this presence. I like him. Samuel L. Jackson, which is the most alpha character in all of MCU, was awesome as always. I mean, there's nothing else about, like, anytime Samuel L. Jackson is on the screen, it's amazing. So that his role in that was great. I've read posts where people say Spider-Man was woke, which, I mean, if all woke movies were woke the way Spider-Man Far From Home was woke, then I don't think anybody would be complaining a whole lot. It's a diverse cast, it's a good cast though. So no issues there for me. I thought it was fine that way. MJ, I liked MJ in this. So granted, it's not the MJ from the comics. I mean, so what? I can forgive that, but we actually got to know her a little bit. And then this is actually, MJ was the part where you were like, oh, this is going to end up being cringy because they're going to just turn this into this big feminist thing. But she was real down to earth, real like just a normal person. So it was really cool. I think the dynamic between Peter Parker and MJ in this was good. It'll be interesting to see that relationship grow throughout the next phase of the MCU. All in all, Spider-Man Far From Home is probably my third favorite Spider-Man cinematic movie. Spider-Man 2 is definitely still my first. Probably Into the Spider-Verse, and then maybe this one. Although I think in Civil War with Tom Holland's first appearance as Spider-Man was just great. That was like, just seeing him pop on the screen like that was amazing. So, I mean, there's that. But so this is probably my third favorite Spider-Man movie. Maybe that's definitely in the top 10 superhero movies, I would say. But yeah, so people that say that it sucked, It didn't suck. It was a good movie. You're definitely gonna have fun watching this movie. If you like any of the other Spider-Man movies, you sit down and watch this, you're gonna have fun watching it. So I'd definitely say go see it. It's definitely gonna be better on the big screen than it is on the TV. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what your thoughts are, and argue with me.